Most Sundays, Usha will come with me to church. As I've told her and I've said publicly, and I'll say now in front of 10,000 of my closest friends, do I hope eventually that she is somehow moved by the same thing that I was moved in by church? Yeah, I honestly do wish that.
The instant Usha saw Erika Kirk parading a baby alongside JD on national television, something inside her snapped. The poised, unshakable woman everyone admired vanished in that moment. In her place rose a version of herself she had never imagined, the dutiful, picture-perfect Christian wife JD had always envisioned. Insiders whisper that tension in the Vance household has reached a boiling point. Usha is reportedly willing to do whatever it takes to keep Erika at bay, even if it means abandoning the principles she once held dear. Rumors are swirling about carefully staged photos of Usha at church events, supposedly part of a meticulous public comeback strategy. But the question on everyone's lips is explosive. Was this all part of JD's plan from the beginning? Was he quietly steering Usha toward this transformation long before the cameras caught it? To understand the origins of this seismic shift, we have to go back to JD Vance himself. Many recall the moment he stood confidently before a crowd, sharing a story about wanting his wife to fully embrace his faith, framing it as a touching family anecdote. But the words weren't the shocker, it was the certainty behind them. It was as if her transformation had already been written, and she was the last to realize it. Wrapped in gentle, faith-infused language, JD's message carried a subtle but unmistakable weight. Usha was expected to follow his lead in every dimension, spiritually, politically, and even in her public persona. He made it sound natural, inevitable, almost tender. But the truth was chilling. Her alignment with his vision was not optional. When that clip surfaced online, the reaction was immediate, furious, and unrelenting.
Why is Usha Vance's religion suddenly a problem for JD now? She wasn't Christian when he married her, and he knew that. Well, the thing you're missing is that JD Vance wasn't Christian either. He considered himself an atheist.
Zero viewers erupted online, accusing JD of pressuring his wife to abandon her faith. TikTok creators tore the clip apart frame by frame, while social media threads exploded with debates over what many described as controlling and unsettling behavior. It quickly became one of the most scrutinized moments of his entire career. But while the internet was spinning in outrage, one person was quietly seizing the opportunity: Erika Kirk. According to whispers online, she saw the chaos as her opening, the perfect storm to finally wedge herself between JD and Usha. The timing was uncanny. The very moment JD made that statement happened at a high-profile public event, and insiders swore it was no coincidence. By the time commentators and online sleuths connected the dots, one theory began dominating the narrative. This was the first step in JD's carefully orchestrated public rebranding, with Erika positioned as the flawless partner for his newly crafted image. From that point, everything seemed to fall into place with eerie precision. But here's what most people overlooked. Everyone had seen the viral clip of JD insisting Usha embrace Christianity, yet few understood the question that had prompted it. Someone had asked him why his faith appeared so intertwined with his vision of being a true American, especially given his marriage in an interfaith household. JD didn't hesitate. His answer left no room for ambiguity. His children would be raised Christian, and Usha's transformation wasn't a possibility. It was a certainty, a matter of time. Behind closed doors, insiders say this religious tension tore through the Vance household, sparking arguments so fierce that cracks began to show publicly. Smiles faded. Glances grew icy. The once seamless partnership now radiated an almost tangible chill. It started with subtle, telling gestures, and even their appearances at public events became a silent battleground of control and defiance.
He is married to a woman of Indian descent.
Yes.
He has mixed race children.
Yes.
So to all of the MAGA voters out there, if this man will not defend his wife and will not defend his kids, do you think he gives a crap about you?
But something had undeniably changed. No glances, no warmth, just two people seated side by side, yet worlds apart, staring straight ahead like strangers sharing a stage. At some events, they even made a point to sit apart, a silent, visible tension that photographers could barely contain in their frames. Fans began to notice. Slowly, painfully, it became clear. Usha and JD no longer looked like partners, they looked like competitors. Meanwhile, Erika and JD grew bolder with each passing day. That one hug they shared on stage? It detonated online, shattering the internet in seconds. To viewers, it wasn't just a hug, it was a declaration, a quiet signal that JD's heart might already be drifting toward Erika. Erika didn't hide from the attention either. She began appearing alongside JD at nearly every major event, always close enough to be noticed, always smiling, always radiating ease. To outsiders, it could have been harmless charm, but to those watching closely, it was unmistakable. She was staking her claim. When Erika finally addressed the viral hug in an interview, she brushed it off with a casual, almost innocent explanation. "I'm naturally affectionate." But the words did little to quell speculation. Instead, A single line about once wishing she had been expecting when her late husband passed set tongues wagging. Viewers interpreted it as a veiled hint, a whisper of a fresh chapter that could include JD. For Usha, the realization was devastating. Erika wasn't just encroaching on her social circle. She was potentially infiltrating her personal life. That awareness hit like a hammer, leaving her heartbroken and scrambling to regain control of her narrative. The viral clip of JD and Erika didn't remain a gossip footnote. It exploded everywhere. Hashtags surged, memes multiplied, and experts from political analysts to lifestyle vloggers dissected every movement, every glance, every tiny smile. The country had become a jury, analyzing 12 seconds of footage endlessly. Fans noticed every detail. JD's subtle smile, Erika leaning in as if it were second nature, their chemistry scrutinized frame by frame. TikTok creators slowed it down obsessively, Reddit threads multiplied, and theories spiraled out of control. Some claimed Erika's body language screamed, "I've already won." Others chalked it up to grief mixed with misdirected affection. And then there was Usha, or rather, her silence. Hours after the clip went viral, her social media vanished into darkness. No statements, no posts, nothing. For someone renowned for her composure, her intellect, and her professionalism, that silence spoke volumes. Fans rushed to her old posts, flooding them with support, hailing her as the dignified anchor while labeling Erika the opportunist. Behind the scenes, however, it was even more tangled. Sources close to the Vances revealed that Usha had already hit her breaking point long before the internet noticed. The constant pressure, the speculation, and Erika's encroaching presence had all built up to an unbearable crescendo. Friends urged her to step back, focus on herself, and wait for the media frenzy to fade. But Usha had other plans. Quietly, meticulously, she began reshaping her image. Meanwhile, Erika thrived under the spotlight. She lined up interviews, made unexpected appearances, and turned every public moment into a headline. At first, she portrayed herself as misunderstood, the grieving widow swept into the whirlwind of public conjecture. But slowly, her tone shifted. Erika began speaking like someone poised to claim an entirely new role in the public eye, discussing faith, family, and purpose with a calculated confidence that mirrored JD's own rhetoric.
On most Sundays, Usha will come with me to church. As I've told her and I've said publicly, and I'll say now in front of 10,000 of my closest friends, do I hope eventually that she is somehow moved by the same thing that I was moved in by church? Yeah, I honestly do wish that, because I believe in the Christian gospel, and I hope eventually my wife comes to see it the same.
And then came the narrative shift. Erika's talks of finding purpose after loss mirrored JD's own language so closely it was impossible to ignore. People noticed, and they didn't like it one bit. Online commentators erupted, calling her transformation a deliberate, calculated rebrand, a maneuver to align herself perfectly with JD's world. Even fashion blogs joined the frenzy, dissecting every wardrobe choice. Long flowing dresses, muted tones, minimalist jewelry, each detail screaming the image of a modern conservative ideal. Subtle? Yes. Powerful? Absolutely. To critics, Erika wasn't mourning. She was auditioning for a role that could change everything. The tension spiked when a behind-the-scenes clip from a Turning Point USA event leaked online. JD and Erika were captured laughing moments before their joint panel. They didn't touch, but the ease, the familiarity, the quiet chemistry was undeniable. JD leaning in, Erika tilting her head, every micro-gesture magnified into a headline. That clip alone went viral, racking up over 5 million views in a single day. Then the email leak hit. Screenshots of internal event communications spread like wildfire, noting that JD and Erika's dressing rooms had been combined for efficiency. Whether authentic or not, the rumor ignited speculation everywhere. Why were they being treated like a unit? JD tried to remain stoic, keeping public interactions professional, but the world dissected every smile, every glance, every handshake, turning them into viral gold. Meanwhile, Usha's silence became her secret weapon. The fewer words she spoke, the heavier her presence became. She didn't need to defend herself. The public did it for her. Within weeks, TikTok erupted with Usha redemption content, clips highlighting her achievements, her speeches. Her calm composure contrasted against Erika's staged brilliance. The message was unmistakable. Dignity belonged to Usha, but the quiet didn't last. Out of nowhere, a podcast host dropped a bombshell. Erika had reportedly been negotiating with major media outlets, preparing to release a polished, emotional, tell-all documentary about her relationship with JD. Whether true or rumor, the internet exploded. Within 24 hours, paparazzi photos surfaced of JD and Erika leaving dinner together. Innocent, perhaps, but social media didn't see it that way. Hashtags trended. Memes multiplied. Erika's reputation spiraled from complicated to chaotic in hours. Then came the revelation that shifted everything. Usha had quietly hired a PR team of her own, not to attack but to control the narrative if things got out of hand. Suddenly, speculation ran wild. Would a public statement or even legal action follow? In the days that followed, tension climbed higher. Erika posted a cryptic social media photo, an open Bible captioned, "Peace in the storm." Some interpreted it as faith-driven serenity. Others saw a thinly veiled provocation. Comments erupted. Half praised her spirituality, half accused her of playing the victim. What began as one awkward hug had become a full-blown cultural storm. The drama was no longer about JD, Usha, or Erika. It had become a battleground for faith, image, and power, unfolding in real time. No one could look away. First, Usha fought in the only way she knew, quiet resistance. Her subtle withdrawal in public wasn't just distance. It was defiance, a refusal to shrink into the image of a perfect political wife. Observers noticed small acts of rebellion, learning to cook the meals she loved, preserving the last pieces of her own identity, even as the world tried to mold her. She let her natural gray streaks show, stopped dyeing her hair, a silent proclamation that she wouldn't pretend anymore. Supporters saw a deliberate message. She was done trying to please the world, especially those trying to turn her life into a political storyline. Insiders say Usha understood Erika's sudden closeness to JD wasn't merely emotional, it was strategic. Rumors swirled that Erika wasn't just chasing affection, she was chasing influence, a foothold in JD's rising political orbit. Inside political circles, talk began to heat up. JD Vance was being positioned as a potential 2028 presidential contender. The conversation wasn't just about him, it was about the image projected by the person standing beside him. Questions arose. Did Usha's reserved demeanor fit the role strategists envisioned? And Erika? Charismatic, camera-ready, outspoken. The thought that she could align seamlessly with JD's next-level image sent ripples through the rumor mill. Erika wasn't just a companion, she was a potential gateway to power. Everything came to a head. Usha, brilliant and strong, didn't fit the image some wanted for JD's future. Insiders whispered about the quiet pressure building behind the scenes, a vision of the perfect Christian wife, standing proudly beside a rising leader. It was subtle, relentless, and suffocating. Usha realized that the only way to preserve her marriage and her family was to adapt, to embody the version of herself others expected. And she did. Sources say she began openly embracing JD's faith, attending church events, speaking of unity and purpose. To the public, it looked like a family revival, but those close to her knew the cost. Usha was giving up her identity to hold her world together. From the outside, the headlines read like triumph. Usha and JD working on their marriage, overcoming obstacles, moving forward. But behind the smiles lurked a furious reality. Erika Kirk, who had spent weeks stepping into JD's orbit, now found the ground shifting beneath her.